Hey, what's up, people? This is Ike Love, creator and author of the blog, The Viable Alternative, which is an inspirational blog where I share the wisdom and insights gained along my path of becoming a greater, stronger version of myself. And if you want to read more on the blog, you can click under the window where it says description, and you'll see a link for www.theviablealternative.com. It's completely hot outside, and I'm like sweating. I don't know if you can see it here. Excuse me. You know it's hot. I love this freaking weather. But anyway, today's topic of what I want to talk about is forgiveness and why it can sometimes be a cop-out. And what brings on this specific topic of discussion is because I've reached a point in therapy where I'm going through a lot of childhood regression. And, I know our parents did the best they could when growing up, but sometimes they mess us up. And if you are the type of person who takes responsibility over your life, you have to clean up their mess. They mess you up, but you have to clean it up. And so and God bless my parents, but as I've been just really delving deeper into stuff and really finally seeing my unconscious blocks of success and why they exist and why they're there and how they relate to relationships with my parents, I've just been getting very angry. I've been very, very angry about it because I'm like, damn, there's some stuff that just happened in my childhood that just was very messed up. Very messed up. And, I just look at it, I'm pissed. You know what I mean? And I think I have a right to be. And, I think if you understand what emotions are, it's good. I mean, there's a healthy and unhealthy way to deal with emotions. The unhealthy way to deal with emotions is to suppress them, where that you just, instead of really experiencing them, you suppress them. You have a lot of anger towards one of your parents, you have a lot of sadness towards something, but you feel guilty about feeling it because your parents, when as a child, guilted you about being angry about how they may have treated you, or they manipulated you to make you feel grateful for whatever you got from them. And so as an adult, whatever feelings of resentment you have towards them, you suppress because you learn as a child that it was wrong to feel any type of resentment towards your parents or anger or whatever. The other unhealthy way to deal with your emotions is to let them control you. And as you see, we see these psychopaths who go into a crowded square with a machete and just start slashing at people. Those are people who, they feel their emotion, but the emotion controls them. It's not funny. I mean, it's funny because it's not funny. You know what I'm saying? But, that's the wrong way to deal with your emotions. And I think, I have a right to be angry. And this is where I want to get and talk about, forgiveness and why it can be a cop-out. Now, forgiveness definitely has its place in life. Do not get me wrong. And I should have pulled up a definition of forgiveness, but generally speaking, forgiveness can be defined as, I read in a book years ago, giving for. You give up anger, you give up the resentment you have towards somebody, you let go. And, you let go of whatever hate, anger, resentment you have towards someone who may have wronged you in the past. And you move on with your life, right? And some people see that as a sign of weakness, because if someone wronged you, how the hell are you just going to let go and let them off the hook? But the thing about forgiveness is that you're not letting the other person off the hook. You're letting yourself off the hook. Because, getting back to emotions are energy. And the best way you deal with energy, you have to let energy flow. But when you're resentful towards somebody, when you're angry, it's right to be angry, but when you're holding on to it, when you are harboring resentment, or harboring like anger or hate towards somebody, when you're harboring all these emotions, you're holding on to them, you are stifling the energy from flowing within you. And what happens with stifling energy within your body, if you do not express it, the energy will find ways to express itself. It's like a pressure cooker. You hold on to something, it's going to start to explode, and it will manifest itself in different ways through a chronic illness or ailment that you have. You have outbursts in certain areas of your life. Because the energy is stifled, you kind of like stifle certain aspects of who you are. You're blocking the energy flow, and when energy flow is blocked in your body, you are interfering with the flow and the communication of different systems in your body, because, you know, contrary to popular belief, our systems all work together. They're not like the digestive system, the endocrine system, the excretion system, the nervous system. They all work in tandem with one another. And if you start having energy blocks due to this harboring resentment you have inside of you, or whatever emotion you have inside of you, it messes you up. So when you forgive, you are actually taking yourself off the hook, or whatever hurt that was inflicted upon you in the past. You know, you are freeing yourself. You are letting yourself free from whatever that person did to you, and you're actually letting yourself free from the sickness or whatever was wrong with that person that did that thing to you. So forgiveness has its place. You know, forgiveness is not weak. In fact, to hold on to the past is actually weak, because you are continuing to tell yourself that you are a victim, and being a victim is weak. You know, I mean, look, you may not have been able to choose what had happened to you all the time, especially if you're a child in the past. You know, you may not be able to choose, you know, you just weren't able to choose in the past, you know, but you can choose how you respond to the future. And being a victim, or rather, continuing to choose being a victim is a choice. And you do that when you choose being a victim when you hold on to negative emotions. So, right. So there's a place for forgiveness. But I think people take forgiveness to the extreme. And what I mean by that is that a lot of people, and you find that this happening a lot in the Christian faith when it talks about forgiveness. The Bible talks about, I don't remember any verse that specifically talks about forgiveness, but I can look. But I mean, you know, the Bible talks about okay, the Lord's Prayer says, forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors, which means as you forgive others, God will forgive you, you know? And so it says that we're not perfect, so therefore there's a whole bunch of things that God holds in our hands. So if we want to be forgiven, we have to forgive others, right? So that's one example of what the Bible talks about forgiveness. So a lot of Christians now take the ball and run with it. And what I mean by is this: someone wrongs you in the past, right? And so because now you feel it's, you know, noble to forgive and blah, 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 instead of experiencing whatever anger or grief or sadness you have towards somebody, you say, oh, you know, I forgive you for what you did. You are forgiven and blah, blah, blah. But I think when a person just jumps to forgiveness immediately without feeling the emotions that they had gone through when that person inflicted that wrong on them, they're copping out, because they're not experiencing the full range of emotions that they rightfully have the right to feel as a result of whatever wrong that was inflicted on them. You know, I mean, you have a right to feel angry. It's just like, again, you don't have to hold on to it and harbor it. You know, you express the anger you feel over whatever that person did to you. You know, you give it an outlet, a healthy outlet. Again, don't go an example of chopping people to death, you know, or becoming an axe murderer. I mean, you know, but there are healthy outlets to whatever emotions that you feel as a result of someone doing something wrong to you. You know, you have to experience them. And a lot of people are so afraid of their emotions that they cop out and say, oh, I forgive them. And they have this kind of like halo on their head that, oh, I'm being forgiving, when they're actually doing tremendous amount of harm to themselves, because they're not acknowledging the emotions that were elicited as a result of that situation. So I think some people are not ready to forgive. And they're lying to themselves when they say they forgive the other person, because they're still have a lot of resentment bubbling below the forgiveness. And you saying that you forgave that person, you are not dealing with whatever emotional wounds that you have within your resulting situation, and those emotional wounds will come up and bite you in the arse later on. And the forgiveness is the mask or the blanket over your eyes that blocks you from seeing the emotions that you're harboring within that you need to go and deal with and express and let go. So if someone wronged you, express it. You're a bastard. You're an a-hole. That sounds so weird. I should just curse in my things. I just don't like doing it, but whatever. I like to keep this PG-13. Well, actually not PG-13, because PG-13 they're cursing as well. I don't know. Whatever. Point of the matter is that I think you are not a horrible person if you feel resentment towards someone for doing something to you. You are not a horrible person for going through the range of emotions that you feel or that are in you and expressing them because of what someone did to you. Do that. Be angry. If your mother or father did something wrong to you in your past, be angry at them for it. You have a right to be. You're a human freaking being, for goodness sake. You're not a robot. Feel the damn emotions that are inside of you. Express them, Feel them. Let them out. Give them an outlet. A healthy outlet, like I said. A healthy outlet. Give them that out. And then, as you heal, then you give a space for yourself to forgive and let go. But I think forgiveness involves a step-by-step process. And part of it, you have to either grieve or vent or experience these emotions. And after you go through that process, then you can come to a point when you have forgiven that person. But a lot of people, when they say, oh yeah, we forgive you for what you did for massacring my entire family. I mean, give me a break. Maybe some people are like these just saintly people that can do it. But I mean, I don't think a lot of people are capable of just jumping to forgiveness. Yeah. Now, again, when you have these horrendous things that have been done to you in the past and the resultant emotions that are produced because of that, yes, if you're going to hold on to all that burden without just giving it out, just hold on to it because it makes you feel righteous to hold on to some resentment towards somebody you hold on to because that person wronged me. Yeah, you're killing yourself. It's always said that resentment is like drinking a cup of poison and expecting your enemy to suffer, or touching a hot stove and keeping your hand on a hot stove and expecting the other person to suffer. So yeah, that's not it. So it's two extremes. What I'm saying? It's like a balance. Do not hold on to resentment, and at the same time, the other end, do not lie to yourself and say that, oh, I forgive that person, and as a way to not deal with your emotions. Deal with your emotions, feel them through, and give them a healthy outlet, and allow yourself to go through the process, and then you can forgive. So I hope I brought sense to the insanity that I see in this world. And don't worry, I have no judgment. I'm insane a lot of the times, But I hope all this helps. If you like what I had to say, please click on like. Please leave a nice comment so I don't hold any resentment towards you. And yeah, if you like what I have to say, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also follow me on Twitter, The Viable Alt. And also you can see more on my website, which I've not updated in a while. But, like I said, there's tons of blogs in there. So go visit it, damn it. You can visit it at www.theviablealternative.com. Anyway, my food is about to finish to bake in the oven, so I got to get the hell out of here. So take care. God bless everyone, and peace.